Welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer, Jeremy Green alongside in the Wicked Weed studios here in wonderful Woodfin, North Carolina. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different, serving your Asheville area with 4 locations now, including their South Slope restaurant, Cultura, still open, being safe, drink different. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Oh man, I don't have many words for what happened yesterday in the late slate of games.
You were a disaster. I have some words. It was a train wreck of a disaster.
I was very upset as earlier in the day it went really well as far as this was like one of the first weeks that I actually tracked my picks. And the early slate I went 13-1.
And then you know what you did? You said it out loud.
I did.
You don't ever say it out loud.
I said it out loud. I texted Jeremy. It's like, holy shit, I only missed 1 in the early slate.
Hey, I've been good. And then...
Yep, and then I went 2-10 in the late slate. It was a banner day.
That's hard to do. Just throwing that out there.
It is indeed, but so many confusing outcomes from yesterday, including the new spark of Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts.
Can we... Stop it!
No, nobody.
We had no tape on him. He wasn't that good. Let's be. Can we stop with that? He was not that good. He runs a lot, and he's pretty damn good at it.
Yeah.
We've seen how this goes, right? Like Lamar Jackson, all these other guys that they run predominantly, and they predominantly all have better arms than him. You see where this is going, right? Like This is not a long-term. I mean, you haven't found your quarterback of the future if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
I think many Philadelphia Eagles fans believe that they have. I've been watching the debate rage on social media all night long of Jalen Hurts should be the guy. Jalen Hurts needs to take over this team. Now, I agree for the rest of the season, but not for any reasons that he proved last night. I go back to my original plan, just play him the rest of the year. You got nothing to lose at this point, and start off with Carson Wentz next year. I still don't think there's any path for Carson Wentz to be on another team. We've talked about.
There's 100% a path for him to be on another team.
If
we've learned anything, it's in the NFL. If you want rid of somebody bad enough, you will do it.
But we've talked about the contract ramifications of that.
Well, the contract's a disaster.
Right.
I mean, we all know that. It's just, are you gonna deal with that? Or to me, Carson Wentz is still the best quarterback on this team, and it's not all that close. But you have to have something around him. I mean, Jalen Hurts was not a prodigious quarterback yesterday. He ran really well.
Yes, he did.
Other than that, what did he do that was so good that you go, oh my God, it's Russell Wilson. No, that's not what he is. He's a good runner with a really long throwing motion and really bad weapons. That's what he is.
I just thought it was hilarious how, yesterday on the Bet and Pick show, I featured the stat of, hey, the New Orleans Saints haven't given up a 100-yard rusher in 50 regular season games.
Then they gave up
2!
Yeah, two of
them.
Now, in fairness, Miles Sanders had 100 yards rushing, but 80-something of them were on one run.
Yep.
So it's not like, Miles Sanders was just killing them.
Right.
He was fine. Just, let's just calm down on...
Still, it's a little concerning. But, I mean...
You should be. If you're a New Orleans Saints fan, you should be concerned right now. Yeah. You just lost to a team that is bad.
But the Eagles' defense played really well yesterday. And
they played fine. Stop with this. They were fine. Taysom Hill's terrible.
They were abusing that offensive line. They were getting back in the backfield. They were making... Exactly. It was Taysom Hill. Had they had Drew Brees, I don't think they would have lost that game.
I think I honestly said, why are you not putting Jameis Winston in the ball game? You need a quarterback. You don't have one. Taysom Hill's not a quarterback. And if we can't see that at this point, I can't help you. Just stop it. I mean, he's not a quarterback. We're good on that, right? Like, you understand that. Taysom Hill is not an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I never said he was. I've been saying from the jump, why would you even go to Taysom Hill? You got Jameis Winston sitting over there that just last year threw for 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. And we understand he threw for 30 interceptions as well, but you win some, you lose some.
Yeah. Some enemies become friends, friends become enemies.
That's right. He's not Nick Foles bad.
Taysom Hill. Did you just say Taysom Hill's not Nick Foles bad?
No, Jameis Winston.
Oh, God. God, that's closer than you think it is.
Oh, you think?
Oh, yeah. Jameis Winston's good's real good, but God, his bad is god-awful. I mean, literally at halftime. Tell me if I'm wrong. If they put in Jameis Winston at halftime, do they win that game, yes or no? I would say yes.
I think so.
Taysom Hill cut them up like a Thanksgiving turkey after Darius Slay got hurt.
Right.
What would Jameis Winston have done? Like, the overthrow. I mean, Taysom Hill missed Emmanuel Sanders in the back of the end zone. Wide open. There's nobody in the frame. But Taysom Hill throws it into the crowd. I mean, how much stock do you put into this?
I don't put
Or do you think the Eagles can win the NFC East now?
hell no.
No.
Hell no.
No. Do you worry about the Saints now?
No.
No. They are what they are. They're going to get beat this week by Kansas City. They're going to win their last 2 games of the year, and they're going to go in as the 2 seed. And unfortunately, if they're going to make it to a Super Bowl, they're going to have to beat Green Bay in Green Bay, which they can't do.
Yeah.
Period. They can't do it.
They're going to, yeah. And here's the thing: they're talking about they're not going to rush Drew Brees back. You shouldn't rush Drew.
You
Brees
shouldn't.
back. You're going to lose this game.
Yeah,
whether
you're
you do or
losing to Pat. So
Right.
you just let Jalen Hurts look like, Russell Wilson. So you're losing to Patty Mahomes.
Right.
Especially Pat Mahomes coming off possibly the worst game he's played in his life.
not.
And still threw for 3 and some change and won.
Yeah.
Against a pretty good Miami defense.
I just love the fact that there are so many people right now reading so much into this. Look how good Jalen Hurts looked yesterday. He's the guy. Now we have a real problem. Now we have a quarterback competition. I don't think you do.
No.
And I may be wrong about that. I've been wrong before, obviously, but I don't think you have a quarterback competition here. I feel like, they didn't know what they were going to see with Jalen Hurts, and it's one of those anomaly games like last week with the Giants beating the Seahawks. There's one every week.
Yeah. It's the way the NFL works. Every week there's a game that somebody should not lose that they do.
Yep.
It's how this league works. It's how it's worked for a billion years. And I'll be honest with you, had Kansas City lost to Miami yesterday, wouldn't have changed my thought on them in the least. I don't feel. I'll tell you who I feel differently about. Miami can win a playoff game. I firmly believe that Miami can win a playoff game. I didn't think they could, but they can.
Yeah. They need weapons. They need weapons bad.
Yeah.
They
Devontae
do.
Parker goes out with an injury and does nothing, and now you're throwing to dudes.
Jakeem Grant, Mac Hollins. Mike Gesicki looked like Kellen Winslow Sr.
Right.
And then he got hurt. I don't know. I look at that Miami defense and go with Xavier Howard and Byron Jones. There is nobody that you can play that I'm petrified of.
Right.
Like, there's not a receiver in the league that I go, how can you ever defend him? Found a way. They found a way to defend Tyreek Hill. I mean, he scored 2 touchdowns, but it was on 2 touches. That was it. Didn't do anything else. I mean, you got to figure out how to defend tight ends because Travis Kelce had him a day.
Yeah.
But, I mean, other than that, I think if you're a Miami Dolphin fan, you have to be. Is there a fan base in the NFL that's happier right now compared to what we thought they would be than the Miami Dolphins?
Cleveland.
I don't think Cleveland's happier by comparison. Cleveland thought they were good. They thought that hillbilly hand fishing Freddie Kitchens was the problem, of which he was certainly part of the problem. Miami thought, yes or no, Miami thought they were going to have 2 top 10 picks in this draft.
Yes.
Yes.
No, they're
The
not.
majority of them.
They're not. You're going to have one from Houston, and then you're going to pick in the low 20s because you're going to make the playoffs.
Right.
Or the high teens. And Tua looked good. I mean, I'm not saying he... The funny thing is that none of these quarterbacks could all look good at the same time. The rookies, Justin Herbert was not overly impressive to me yesterday.
Right.
against a bad Atlanta secondary.
Yeah.
Him and Keenan Allen have a great rapport. Everybody else, it just looks forced.
Mm-hmm.
But now Tua all of a sudden looked like the best quarterback in this class, which we all know he's not, but he looked that way.
I don't know that we all know that's not true.
I'll know what's not true.
That Tua's not the best one in the class.
Anybody with a brain knows that. If you're telling me right now, off what you saw of Joe Burrow, you would rather have Tua Tagovailoa, I don't know how to help you.
I'm just saying it's not over.
No, it's
We don't
not
know-
over.
We don't know what's ahead.
It's not over, but the fat lady is tuning up.
Oh, come on. Tua continues to make strides, and Joe's going to be done for a
100%.
year. So
100%. Don't disagree with you. Joe's going to come back next year with probably the best offensive line prospect I've ever seen.
true.
Move Jonah Williams, line all of a sudden gets much better.
Yep.
And now watch Joe work when he's not running for his life,
Right.
which is a lot like what Carson Wentz is going to do with whatever team puts an offensive line around him.
When he's not getting killed over and over and over again, like Deshaun Watson. Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
You think Deshaun Watson ever looks around and goes, I don't like money that much? His number 2 receiver yesterday was Chad Hansen.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only person on planet Earth that knew who Chad Hansen was before yesterday.
I'm glad he could come out of the red zone booth to.
That's Chris Hansen.
Oh.
Also the guy from To Catch a Predator. Also Chris Hansen.
No, that's Scott Hansen.
Scott that's
Scott
right.
Hansen's
Chris
the guy.
Hansen's the Catch a Predator guy. Scott Hansen is the NFL red zone guy.
Right.
Yeah, I screw that up a lot.
Oh God, I saw a stat yesterday that at this point in his career, Deshaun Watson is now like the number 4 guy to be number 4 quarterback of all time to be hit the most in his career span.
He's been hit a whole bunch of times.
God, he is just and he can't do it all. I mean, he's the magic man. When he has good games, it's all because of him, and his team never has a good
Well,
game.
it's because they don't have anybody.
Right, exactly.
Yesterday, the starting running back was Duke Johnson.
Dookie.
I will say this. I know nobody watched this game but me. There was a play. I watched Red Zone all day yesterday. Yesterday was the first day we haven't been at the social in East Asheville all year.
Right.
And so I sat and listened to commentary for the first time all year. Jordan Akins had quite possibly the worst attempt at a touchdown catch I have ever seen. His hands were here, and the ball was here. And it hit him in the shoulder and just fell to the ground. There was nobody within 15 feet of him.
Oh my God.
No clue where the ball was.
Right.
And it personified the Houston Texans in a nutshell to me. And that team is completely screwed.
Yeah.
You're paying money to people that you shouldn't.
Yep.
You don't have any draft picks.
None.
And Deshaun Watson has to be looking around going, sweet God, do I have to catch it too?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, do I have to throw it to myself?
And
Because this is pathetic.
And needs to play some damn defense.
Because that defense
Mitchell
is awful.
Trubisky looked like the second coming.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky had him a day.
Yep.
And
Yep.
David Montgomery.
And David Montgomery. Well, he had the 180-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, and then he had 35 yards for the rest of the
Right,
game.
Right. Yeah.
But he had one huge run, and then he was very David Montgomery for the rest of it.
Right.
He caught 3 balls for 53 yards.
I was saying,
Wow.
hey man,
Is that a bad day overall? Overall?
it was good. It was good enough for like 20 fantasy points. So
All right.
good on you.
He's still, it's still Bears.
He's still David Montgomery.
It's still
we
not
get
good.
it. Oh, we get it. But that's when it comes to this time in the season, a 20-point output is a 20-point output. Don't give a shit where it comes
Hey,
from.
I played Jalen Hurts in a league yesterday, and I was not ashamed of it in the least. 2 quarterback, and I got him with the 6th waiver priority.
Wow,
Yeah, that's a thing that happened, and that's a big money league too.
that worked out pretty well for you then.
I got him over a guy who was ahead of me in waivers that played Sam Darnold.
Right.
How'd that work out for you?
Oh, you already tried to poke the bear on this one earlier today. Let's get into it. The Minnesota Vikings went down to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 26-14. You say we should have lost that game?
Your team sucks. Like, your team is brutally bad. I want you to understand all the things you had to have happen yesterday to win this game. Dan Bailey looked like somebody that was playing Madden on All Madden for the first time. But I don't think he missed a field goal by less than 10 yards that whole game.
Right.
Every one of them, like as soon as he hit it, no shot.
Right.
That was 10 points. You also got gifted a defensive pass interference that led to a field goal. You needed all of that to happen to beat a really bad Minnesota Viking team. Because no risk it, no biscuit just can't figure out this is not what Tom Brady does.
He just can't do it.
He just oh God, that phrase irritates the sin out of me
He
too.
refuses
No
to
risk
do
it, no biscuit.
anything. No adjustments
See,
whatsoever.
they tried. They actually, to me, made some adjustments between these games.
What that looked like the exact same thing to me.
We
had some more. You had some more pre-snap motion. Good for you. You figured something out that the rest of the NFL got
Right.
10 years ago.
Right. But there was more of a focus on the running game. They did end
Was
up
there,
giving
though?
Ronald Jones 18 carries in the game. They ran a lot of play action, which people have been screaming, you need to run more play action. You need to stop trying to take so many long shots down the field.
Hey,
Now,
they
still did that.
and they ran LaShawn McCoy because that's what everybody's been clamoring for.
Right.
You need to run more LaShawn McCoy. That's
Right.
a thing.
Now, I'm not saying the personnel, there weren't personnel questions, but what I am saying is it did look like a different offense from what it had looked like in weeks past. Like they were trying to get the, do the things that Tom Brady does really well and mix it into the no risk it, no biscuit thing. And it looked like a disjointed turd.
No risk it, no biscuit.
Honestly, that's what the offense looked like yesterday.
It bounced
It
her,
was,
man.
you know-
It bounced her.
I mean, Brady threw a good ball to Scotty Miller, and that was like the last great pass that he had all game long. It was just a nasty slog. But it's a win, and a win is a win.
A win is not always a win. That's kind of disingenuous.
Hey,
Because you just had a win that made a lot of people like me go, oh, wait. That wasn't good at all. Like, it wasn't good at all. You have huge problems, and your defense is not nearly as good as people make it out to be. Dalvin Cook could have had 200 yards against you yesterday, but they got behind, and then they had to let Kirky try to lead them to the promised land, and that's just never going to work. I hate Kirk Cousins so much.
the Denver Broncos beat the Panthers 32-27. Did you take anything away from that game?
Yep. People will watch any NFL game put on television. That's what I took away. That was, oh my God, that set the NFL back 14 years. It was, good Lord, it was awful. Both of those teams are terrible.
Yeah.
And they're just terrible. There's not a nicer way to put that. They are horrendous.
Mike Davis got you 2 touchdowns, though.
Thanks, Mike Davis. If you played my monkey knife fight yesterday, you're welcome. That worked out nice. Between Derrick Henry and Mike Davis, I didn't really need anything else, now did I?
God. Derrick Henry, my.
Yeah.
My. The 4th time he's had 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in the same game. It's now an NFL record.
Yep.
Derrick Henry, the most prolific running back in NFL history. Not quite. But he's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, that boy good.
That
Yeah.
boy good.
Yeah, 31-10. They had no problem with the Jacksonville Jaguars. 215 rushing yards for Derrick Henry.
Yeah, he's pretty talented. My wife looked at me at one point and went, how is he that fast if he's that big? I don't know.
Don't know.
The physics of that are mind-boggling.
That's a dangerous team, though.
But is it though?
I think it is.
First of all, this was against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, a couple of the holes he ran through, I'm pretty sure I could have driven my car through it. So, before we go, I remember the Titans are scary. Okay, what team that's going to have home field can they beat? You think they beat Kansas City? No. Can they beat Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I think
They've already been shelled by Pittsburgh once. I don't care what the final score was. They got drug.
Okay.
And can they beat Buffalo? No.
I think it'll be closer than that.
I don't. You know why? Because you get Ryan Tannehill and I get not Ryan Tannehill. And that's all I need. I don't need to be great. I need to be better than Ryan Tannehill. And every quarterback is going to make the playoffs in the AFC, short of Tua Tagovailoa, is that. Ooh. Maybe Phillip Rivers. That's close.
Okay. You keep dissing Ryan Tannehill.
Because he's not good.
He is for this team. He is for this scheme. He has been good ever since he took over the starting job with this team. It seems like every week he is consistent. He's over 200 yards. He's got a couple of touchdowns. And he just lets the running game do the work. And the running game sets him up, and he hits bombs to A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. And it's just
A.J. Brown every game.
Right.
A.J. Brown is a horse.
Yeah.
I am good. The touchdown catch by A.J. Brown is one of the most impressive things you'll ever see.
Yeah.
I mean, he just give me that shit. Look at that. I did that.
I think you don't like the Titans because, I mean, they are the definition of offensive balance.
No, I don't like the Titans because they're not good. And Mike Vrabel is not a good head coach. And Derrick Henry can't catch. I mean, A.J. Brown is the only player on this team I really like.
Right.
That's it. Derrick Henry's not a complete back. And if it wasn't for A.J. Brown, you could load 9 in the box. And A.J. Brown gets hurt constantly. He got hurt yesterday. He came back in a few plays later, but he gets hurt constantly.
Dallas Cowboys
They're bad.
destroyed the Cincinnati Bengals.
They're worse.
30-7. Your final score. A.J. Green, he did some things.
He didn't mean to.
He got a touchdown. Yay.
Did you watch the end of this game?
No.
Brandon Allen got hurt, I don't know, third quarter. They believe in Ryan Finley so little that Brandon Allen could not throw. He couldn't actually put any weight on his forward foot. Not the plant foot, on the forward foot.
Okay.
They still didn't take him out. He was missing guys by 10 yards. He hit the where the stands start on 4th down. And they still looked at Ryan Finley and went, "We're better with this. It's better this way."
That's never a good position to find yourself in. But Ryan Finley's bad, and I think Ryan Finley knows he's bad. You'd rather go with a guy off the street than the guy you've got under contract. He's now just practice squad guy.
Practice squad guy.
That's all he is. That's all he's got left.
QBU, NC State.
Oh,
Yeah, living in a North Carolina market where you hear all the NC State's QBU. Well, Russell Wilson doesn't count. So, he went to Wisconsin. Sorry about it. That's how it works.
and it only matters where they graduate from.
Correct. Yeah, when they show the college and you see that little screen and it puts the college underneath, who does it show? Where they graduated from. The last school, not all of them. And I'm really glad because some guys would have like 4 schools underneath their name, and I can't keep up with all that. So.
I think they should start doing that with all the transfers that are going on now. We'll have guys in the NFL. Have
Speaking of
4 colleges.
transfers, my school has a quarterback. Yeah!
Oh,
Mackenzie Milton. Here we go.
I didn't hear this. I thought you were talking about the Travis kid that played so
Mackenzie
well.
Milton's transferred to Florida State. He will be our starter next year, I promise you.
Okay. You don't believe in old Travis?
Nope. Nope.
But you guys did such a good job this week.
Nope.
We scored 56 points.
I'm catching a lot of flack for saying Russell Wilson is not attached to NC State. I'm not saying he's not attached there, and he does a great job of saying a whole pack of Badgers on Sunday Night Football.
He does.
Here's the thing: when they show the little graphic of where he went, it says Wisconsin. That's just the way it is. I don't make the decision. It's not my decision. I'm just passing the information along to you.
Right.
And I'm doing it with a smile because I hate NC State with every fiber of my soul.
I'll give you credit for Russell Wilson.
Of course you will. You give everybody credit for everything.
Of course.
You are the participation trophy of sports commentary.
Hey, I don't care whether
Everybody tried real hard.
No, he spent 3 years at NC State.
Okay, is that where he ended?
No.
Nope, because Tom O'Brien told him to kick rocks. Because I need to put in Mike Glennon. That's a thing.
He did graduate from NC State. though.
Uh-huh. Yeah, a lot of people graduated from the school that they left and went somewhere else. Russell Wilson, for some reason, is the only one we attached to the former school.
That's the only reason they can do that, because they got to be able to
Yeah.
pick a grad student.
Plus, I just love taking digs at NC State fans at 9:30 on it.
9:30 in the morning. Nothing like getting that whole Wolfpack stirred up.
Oh, God, there's so few fan bases that get so mad at me. NC State fans love to just send me poorly spelled Twitter death threats.
They can't help it.
And some of them are fantastic. Patrick Holt's fantastic. Bo Walker's fantastic. All the ones that, frankly, all the ones that I'm willfully pissing off right now, they're great. But if you ever look at my Twitter mentions, just search my name in NC State. That's all you got to do. Leads to a lot of very poorly spelled Twitter mentions.
Look, you have to treat NC State fans with a little kid gloves because they get really salty about the fact that they're the least relevant school in the state of North Carolina.
They're not the least relevant. Wake Forest is the least relevant. I mean, we can go down we go to NC Wilmington if we need to.
Oh, I don't even count them. They're like D2 schools. We don't even bother with them.
All right.
That'll Moo U is a little sensitive though.
Moo U. I've never heard that before. That's phenomenal.
They get a little touchy. It happens when you're like the redheaded stepchild of the ACC for, I don't know. What's it been? 50 years?
Forever.
Well, I mean, you had the 70s. Oh, they didn't have the 80s with Valvano. So, yeah, okay. So it's only been 40 years.
We also worked for several NC State fans. So
I do.
I get to hear this.
I've gotten really good at getting under the skin of State fans over the years. 13 years working 2 doors down from one of the biggest ones on the planet. That'll do it for you. Kansas City Chiefs beat the Dolphins 33-27. Cardinals 26-7 over the Giants. Giants, they showed up.
God damn it.
They tried.
Our producer Brian, who's also a Giants fan, I would be remiss if I didn't say, I told you. Everybody loses their minds about the Giants. They're going to win the division. Is Daniel Jones still their quarterback? Yes. Then no, they're not.
That is
They
not good.
probably should have started Colt McCoy. Jones was still hobbled. It was a bad call.
Oh, he's still hobbled. Oh, you mean he did that thing he's done his entire career, which is turn the ball over at a stupid rate.
Yeah.
Oh, we're attributing that to his injury? Is that kind of like Cam Newton just sucking wind because he had the Rona? All right, Max Kellerman, I need you to calm down.
Right.
I'm just so upset.
Cam Newton's been awful. He had the Rona! He's been awful for 8 years, so unless he had it in 2016, I don't think that's his excuse.
They just found it. That it comes back all the way to 2000.
Yeah, Daniel Jones, you can say he was hurt, or you can do what the rest of us do and just go, he's not good.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got the fumbleitis, and until
He's got the worst case of fumbleitis in NFL history.
I've ever seen.
Do you realize, in every game the man's ever started in the NFL, he's had one game where he didn't fumble. One. Uno.
The other quarterback in the game, though, didn't look like he was hobbled too much.
No, he good. And you know what he did? You know what he did the whole game? Exactly what I told you he was going to do.
Yep.
One read, DeAndre's covered. Bloop, bloop.
Yeah.
There he goes. He's fine. He's good. We're good.
Yep. So the Cardinals now have officially moved into the bottom playoff spot in the NFC, taking over for the Minnesota Vikings.
Nobody wants to play the best team in the NFC, the Arizona Cardinals.
We're back on that.
Oh,
We're still on that train.
oh, I never came off that.
Oh, okay.
We have to look. We have to make up for a lot of Cliff Kingsbury. I'm not. I get it, but they're still good, and that the defense is markedly better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had a defensive touchdown yesterday. Team's good. Arizona is not a team you want to play in the playoffs.
No.
The Indianapolis Colts 44-27 over the Las Vegas Raiders.
Hey, they fired their defensive coordinator because they had to have somebody to blame.
Yep.
Paul Gunther, our defensive, for 2 weeks now against the Jets and the Colts, not two great running teams. We haven't been able to stop a nosebleed with a roll of paper towels. You have to get fired now.
Uh-huh.
I look at the Raiders, the same thing they did last year. They started hot last year and then they fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I'll be honest with you, I think I figured out why. It's because John Gruden is really predictable. I watched a lot of this game, and I'll be honest with you, I was calling the plays before they ever happened. Like I mean, it's really, really obvious. There's no deception. There's just not much there. And defensively, it's even worse. Defensively, I could literally, if I had one of those little telestrator pens, I could have drawn on my television where every defender was going. Because it was just painfully predictable. And then you blow coverages at that, which makes it even worse.
Yeah. Jonathan Abram is sad that I ever called his name yesterday.
Yep.
It seems the kiss of death continues.
KOD.
He's the one guy that
Hey, Spencer.
he's the one guy that they singled out yesterday. It's like, Jesus, did you realize how bad he was in coverage? And I went, oh, great. Well, that's a thing I did. Just put the hex on you. Sorry about your luck there. We were lucky he didn't run into something again.
Run into the goalpost.
Right. Well, he was the one that ran into the camera earlier this season.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, all right. It's not been a good year for him. But the Colts looked really good. Jonathan Taylor had a hell of a game, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. And, yeah, the Colts are – I do feel markedly different about the Colts today.
I don't.
Really? You're still on edge because you think it's more Raiders falling apart.
Okay, here's how, there are 2 ways this can go. The Colts are either going to be the last division winner or the first or second wild card. Mm-hmm. What division winner are they beating? It's the Titans. And then get killed by the Steelers, you get killed by the Bills, you get killed by the Chiefs. Okay, you're going to be a playoff team. I'll give you that. You're going to get into the playoffs, and that'll be just fine. Mm-hmm. If you're content with that, more power to you. I just don't care. Okay. I don't see any way that they beat a team better than them. I don't. I mean, T.Y. Hilton has been better, but, I mean, really, what scares you down the field? Phillip Rivers looks like he's 9,000 years old.
He looked like he
That's
got
what we
put
expect.
everything he could possibly get into to get that ball to T.Y. Hilton. Like, he literally put every force of effort he could possibly muster to get that ball to T.Y.
Look, it's just sometimes you gotta do that. He's like the old guy in Major League, the old pitcher who comes in talking to Charlie Sheen about having the Vaseline and the Bardol and all this shit. He's like, I got to put anything on my arm that I can find. I don't have it like I used to. I mean, Phillip Rivers is in that boat.
I got an arm like yours.
Yeah, exactly.
You will too.
Exactly. When you're 43 years old, how good do you think you're going to be throwing the ball down the field?
Me, if I make it to 43, it will be a small miracle. I have treated my car like I have treated my body like a car my parents gave me.
Yep.
I paid $0 for this, and I'm going to run the wheels off of it.
Unfortunately, your Jets were not able to keep up with the Seahawks, as you told me.
What's this unfortunately? There's no unfortunately here.
I thought it was unfortunate because I wanted to see them put a little scare in you, put a little fire in your ass. No, it didn't happen.
Well, that didn't work out for you.
It didn't work out for me at all. But, yeah, that was as expected, or should have been expected, 40-3. And so the Jets now 0-13, cruising right along.
We're 13-0 at what we're trying to do, which is lose football games.
Yep. Jamal Adams in the game set a new record in the NFL for most sacks by a defensive back in a season.
No, he didn't.
That's what it said.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
He wasn't within 5 yards of Sam. Sam just runs out of bounds, and they go, well, we got to give the sack to somebody. Because he was short of the line to gain, and he was short of the line of scrimmage, so it's technically a sack. We got to give it to somebody.
Yep.
Jamal Adams was the closest one in the screen. It was as bad as the Michael Strahan sack. Like, Oh, you mean Brett Favre ran right into you? Cool.
Right.
That was fun.
Brett Favre gave that one to you.
How dare you
So, yeah.
talk about Michael Strahan like that?
Giants fans not having it. It's like, you stop it. He earned that sack. Really, you know that's true, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
He laid down.
Okay. Just want to
And, yeah.
clear the air on that one,
Yeah.
so we're all on the same page. But yeah, now officially in the stat book, Jamal Adams has 8.5 sacks as a defensive back. It's a new NFL record. Yay! Packers 31-24 over the Detroit Lions. Aaron Rodgers another 3-touchdown game. Devontae Adams had another touchdown. That makes 8 games in a row now.
Jesus.
that he has
Devontae
a
Adams
touchdown
is
pass.
undefendable.
Yeah.
He is matchup proof. I do not give a damn who's on the other side of him.
Yep.
He is that dude.
Yep.
I'm officially to the point he's the best receiver in the NFL. I never thought anybody passed DeAndre Hopkins. Devontae Adams has.
Yes, I agree with that. I think they're going to be scary down the stretch here, and they have the number 1 seed now, right? They've got the tiebreaker over New Orleans.
Just have to keep winning.
Yep. So I feel a little bit better about them as the number 1 seed. I mean, last week.
I think any team's going to struggle to come into Lambeau and beat them.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they get the number 1 seed, it's going to be hard for me to believe they don't wind up in the Super Bowl.
I agree. The Lions, they did stuff. They made it close at the end. Unfortunately, didn't cover that one.
Yeah, thanks. Speaking of covering, hey Miami, thanks for kicking that meaningless field goal.
No.
I don't want to say what I really want to say, which would probably get me fired across every platform.
Oh, okay.
I'm so. Do you realize how many backdoor covers I lost to this week? I was 12-6 in college football. 3 of my losses, I was right with a minute to go.
Oh, damn. Such is the gambling life. Poor, pitiful baby. It helped me cover that game, though. So I feel pretty good about it.
So annoying. I'm on the right side for 59 minutes.
Yep. Well, you didn't start out right.
Yeah, but I
Because
quickly
the Dolphins
got
got
right.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, but I got right in a hurry.
Dolphins got out to a 10-point lead, and then all of a sudden, yep, oh, here comes
Yeah, then Pat Mahomes went, hey, y'all watch this. Oh, you're worried about me? What's wrong with Pat? Nothing's wrong with Pat.
I loved his comment at the end of the game as they clinched the AFC West with the win, and he says, it sucks that, or it's great that I come to this stadium and it seems that we're going home with a hat of some kind of accomplishment that we have. However, it does appear that I have half of my turnovers in my career at this stadium, because remember he threw two picks in the Super Bowl, and then he had 3 yesterday. It was not very good, but they're just so good. They're so good that it just goes to prove how good Kansas City is. That even when they get down, they can come back with no problem. Even if Pat Mahomes is not on his game, he's eventually going to get there. He's eventually going to rally and come up with it. Are you concerned, though, that they're letting teams back in these ball games? Because this is like 3 weeks out of the last 4 or something that they have been up big and then allowed a team to come back and get close.
They had Pat Mahomes? Oh, okay. Yeah, then I don't care.
Well, no, last year it was the opposite. Last year it was they were coming back in all of the games.
Yeah.
And now it's, I don't know. At
They're the
some
best
point,
team in the NFL, and I don't think it's debatable.
Okay.
I don't think it's even debatable. They're I heard Dan Orlovsky say this morning. They're the first team I've ever seen that can turn it on and turn it off at will. Oh, we need to score? Oh, watch this.
Let's go do it.
Hey, here we go. It's unbelievable.
The Chargers finally won a game.
They're bad.
Michael Badgley hitting the game-winning field goal to put them up to win 20-17 over the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
No
That's a
words.
game that I
No
don't care. It's 2-4-9 teams.
He has no words.
It's because it's 2-4-9 teams. I give a damn less. I literally, they could have put the meaning of life on at midfield. I would have never seen it. I watched like 8 plays of this game total.
Right.
That's it because
Because that's
it's
all.
relevant. It's relevant.
Those were the only moments it was on the red zone. It was just for the one play score.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Seahawks and the Jets. Hey, they're still playing. Back to things that matter.
Washington football team beat the San Francisco 49ers 23-15. You have any thoughts on that game?
Yeah, Alex Smith. I really am worried that something's wrong with that leg.
Yeah.
The way they wrapped it, the way they treated him, the way everything happened after whatever happened to him, I've yet to actually hear.
They're saying
It was
calf.
the leg.
They're saying calf, but it looks.
It didn't look good,
Yeah.
and he looked very despondent.
Yeah.
He had his helmet up, listening to it while Haskins was in the game. It just had the look of, oh, this is not good. This is not good, and I don't like it. So I'm hoping I'm wrong, because I really do want to see what Alex Smith can do with his team in the playoffs.
23-15, the final score. Washington football team improves to 6-7 on the season. They have first place in the NFC East.
Oh, and you wanted to, did you want to take from San Francisco? Because I have one. They need to put calcium in their water or some shit because every position player gets hurt every time they get touched.
Yeah.
I think Deebo Samuel has been hurt in every game.
And why?
Oh, just a strained calf for Alex Smith.
Okay, cool,
Possible to play this week.
awesome.
By the way, Chase Young is a dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can we just talk about the fact Chase Young is a man?
Yeah. What do you have? 3 forced fumbles yesterday,
Touchdown.
or two forced fumbles and or fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. The one criticism that I do have, somebody needs to teach him how to carry the ball.
Yes.
Because, good
Yeah.
God, do not do this going down the sidelines. How many times have we seen Michael Vick do this down the sideline and then somebody come and slap that ball out of his hand? That's the one thing that I thought was, oh, you better tuck that away. You better tuck. Oh, nobody's catching him. It's okay. We're good. We're good.
He already sees
But it does give me
he's the
concern.
leader of the leader of that defense already at such a young age. Like everybody's
Oh,
looking at
absolutely.
him. He's an absolute man.
And him and Montez Sweat are probably the most fearsome tandem in the league now.
Yeah.
They are. That is a scary defense.
I think they are. That might be the one. That might be the other team fan base that's more pleased with their team than they were at the beginning of the season.
I
Miami.
can see that.
That might be the closest argument that you have, because everybody thought the Washington football team was going to be garbage.
Right.
Now, Jeremy, I'll give you credit, because at the beginning of the year you did say that you thought this team was better because of their defense, and they have shown that.
And Ron Rivera, I thought Dwayne Haskins would improve a little bit, so I got that part wrong.
Right.
I did say I think they would be better with Alex Smith if he's healthy. But this is the best team in the NFC East. I've said it now 3 straight weeks.
Yeah.
As soon as the Cowboys proved to be exactly what we all knew they were, except me, was trying to hold on. It's Washington. Washington win this division. They're the best team by a lot.
Yeah.
I agree. Pittsburgh Steelers. Is there concern there?
Not to me. I mean that no. This
didn't
is just
look
what they
good.
are. They can't run the ball. I mean, you want
right.
you want a concern? There is one concern. They can't run the ball at all.
Period.
I mean, they are tremendously bad running the ball.
Yep.
So that gives me pause for concern. But other than that, I mean, they're not electric. Ben's average.
Yeah.
They have good weapons. The defense is good. The defense will eventually figure out how to play without Bud Dupree. It's very obvious that he's not there. And now teams can fixate on J.J. Watt. So that really hurts the pass rush. I mean, other than that, it went pretty much exactly how I thought it would go. I mean, I picked Pittsburgh. But if you remember yesterday, I was sitting here waffling on it as I'm picking the game.
Right. Buffalo won 26-15. It was just weird, and it does give me concern about the Steelers. They may not be as good as I thought they were. There seems to be something really off about that offense. And I don't know if it's just
They drop
they're
a
out
lot
of
of
sorts.
passes,
Right. It's like they just have these games where the offense just disappears. Now, you would think with all of that talent, with Ben Roethlisberger, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Chase Claypool, and Deontay Johnson, and who's the other one? James Washington. You would think that offense would be a little more smooth. But they just can't. I don't know. I see a very limited path for that. You were talking about a team that maybe I think Tennessee could beat, and maybe it's them. The way Tennessee's playing right now, I don't know that Ben could take advantage of the Tennessee secondary.
I disagree with you on that too.
Okay. I just think he doesn't look good.
He doesn't.
And I don't know
He
if
doesn't,
it's
and I think they're dinged up. Certainly.
right. And the shoulder's got to be a problem. Because he's not throwing it well.
Maybe. It may very well be a problem. But I still look at that team and go, there's too much talent here. The receiving core is really good. I mean, do I look at them as a real Super Bowl contender right now? No, not really. But I don't look at anybody in the AFC as a real Super Bowl contender because I don't know how you're going to beat Kansas City.
Other than Kansas City. Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to beat them.
Right.
It's just the net of it is you have to figure a way. You have to be able to beat whoever comes in front of you. I don't know who's going to beat Kansas City. I don't know how they're going to do it.
I think the Bills are now my 2 in the AFC.
I think they are as well.
Yeah.
I think they are as well.
That is one thing that has changed for me is that the Bills have now taken over that number 2 spot for me in the AFC. You know, even though they don't have the record that Pittsburgh does, but now I'm starting to come over to the side of people who've been saying, yeah, maybe Pittsburgh's a little overrated. They haven't played a really hard schedule this year. Okay, starting to come around to your side on that. It kind of hurts for me to say that, but. I think something's wrong with Ben. Like he's getting tired, and I won't be surprised if that haunts them for the last few weeks of the season and into the playoffs.
Very well could. I don't think it will, but it could.
Yeah, coming up tonight on Monday Night Football, we got the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns.
Hey, here's 2 teams that I hate. This will be fun.
Which quarterback does Jeremy hate the most?
Baker
Is it
Mayfield.
Lamar Jackson or Baker Mayfield?
Baker! It's not close. That's not even close. I hate Baker Mayfield more than any quarterback in NFL history. So it's not close.
Well, hopes of him getting you back on Twitter are.
Shoot! Damn the devil! Damn the devil to hell!
Started going for it.
He's already deleted. He's already blocked me twice. So I don't look for me to be unblocked.
I think it's hilarious that he blocked you and then he unblocked you and then you immediately made it your mission for him to block you again.
I don't think he meant to unblock me. If I'm being really honest, that might have been an accident because I found it by accident. And then I went, "Oh, good."
Now I can attack.
Good.
Yeah.
Let me play.
Good Lord. So tonight, you like the Browns?
Yep.
You still like the Browns?
Yep.
Why?
Myles Garrett.
Is Lamar Jackson still the starting quarterback of the Baltimore
Yes, he
Ravens?
is.
Okay, that's why. That's why. Because you can't throw. And you have a defense here that can put 9 guys in the box and go, beat me deep. I dare you. Because you can't. All right, well, Marquise Brown can outrun somebody. Yeah, but he can't catch. There's 3 very important parts of being a good deep threat receiver in the NFL.
Right.
And Marquise Brown forgot 2 of them. He would be a great track star because he doesn't have to catch anything. Did you also notice Marquise Brown was like the only Raven that didn't catch
Stop
coronavirus?
it. I knew you were going there.
Because he can't catch nothing.
He can't catch nothing. God. Why did I knew when he started it that that's where he was going with that. I like the Ravens in this game. Again, it comes down to who needs it more. And I still believe that the Ravens are the better team. I know they don't run the ball as well as the Cleveland Browns, but I still believe they're the better team. I think it's going to be gross. I think it's going to be, 22-20 kind of a ball game. There's going to be a lot of running. There's going to be a lot of ugliness. Mark Andrews is back though, and I like that a lot for the Ravens.
Alex Sander asked if I would hate Baker Mayfield as much if he had been a little more humble. I hated Baker Mayfield when he was a sophomore in college. As soon as he spiked the Oklahoma flag, yeah, I hated him from there on. And then he talked, and every time he talks, he just makes me angrier. I can't stand him as a person.
He's like the ultimate bro.
Brian Haas asked me about Ryan Tannehill. Actually, I like Tannehill as a guy, and I'm glad he's found success, and I'm glad he got the big money deal. Him and his wife do a ton of good charitable things. I am super glad that he got the deal. I hate his game, and I've always hated his game,
right?
Because he is superiorly reliant on the run. If you look at every bad game he's had since he's been in Tennessee, it's been games where Derrick Henry couldn't get started. Because that's what he has to have. He's limited that way. I probably am a little more on his case than I should be. He's just a limited quarterback. But I don't dislike him at all. I genuinely dislike Baker Mayfield.
I could see the fire burning in your eyes.
I don't like Baker Mayfield. I don't like him as a person. I don't like him as a player. He is the definition of I wish I could buy him for what he's worth and sell him for what he thought he was worth. And I would live off the interest for the rest of my life. I would never actually spend the principal. I could leave it to my children because that is how big of a discrepancy there is in those two things.
No, you sell him for what Browns fans think he is.
No, he thinks he's worth more than Browns fans even do.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
After this,
I wish there was a way to isolate my mentions to Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, it's good.
After this 9-3 season, though, I don't know that they'll ever be rid of him. I really don't.
Probably not. But I do think they win tonight. But we do have two college football things that we have to talk about.
Okay.
We couldn't get away from this.
So, yeah. Which one do you want to start with
Who
first?
throws a shoe? That's
Florida.
the stupidest way. I never thought that there would be a way for the Florida Gators to be a sympathetic figure for me. And yet, here we are.
Yep.
When the official has to say he threw a cleat 20 yards downfield, I watched this with my mouth open like, what is happening?
Seriously.
Like, in what universe did that make sense?
Right. I mean, I get that the kid made a big play, and he thought it was a game-winning play, and he's excited, but you gotta know you can't do that.
Pull it together.
You can't throw another guy's equipment.
Who throws a shoe? It reminded me of when Kyle Turley threw I can't remember who the Jets player was. That was against us on Sunday Night Football. He ripped somebody's helmet off and threw it down the field, and
Yep.
I never thought I would see something dumber than that.
Yep.
Found one.
Yeah.
Found it.
You get. I thought it was great too. Somebody was it Dan Mullen that was talking about somebody loosened up the shoe or something before the play started?
Good Lord.
He's like,
Did somebody loosen up old boy's arm so he could throw it?
right. No, it was Ed Orgeron. Ed Orgeron said that. Said he was glad that somebody loosened up that shoe before that play, so that would happen to save the game.
Go Tigers. Couldn't have happened to a nicer group than the Florida Gators.
And cost them possible chance of going to the
Oh
playoffs.
God! I now have never wanted anything more than Florida to beat Alabama. Please beat them in the SEC title game, just so I can look at you and go, well, you would have made the playoff, except you had Dum Dum here throwing shoes. So there's that.
I couldn't believe that game was as close as it was. But, you know, when you don't have possibly the best player in college football on your team, that does hurt you. Kyle Pitts not playing in that game, that was a big difference maker for them.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Yeah. What's your other big college headline that you want to talk about? Oh, he wants to talk about Miami.
Oh,
62-26, Carolina destroyed Miami over the weekend. It was a Cat 5.
what was Jeremy's pick of the week last week?
Carolina over Miami.
Woo!
And they demolished them. There was a new NCAA record set for teammates rushing in a game. As Javonte Williams and Michael Carter went for, what was it, 500?
Five bills, bruh.
Yeah, it was like
$5 bills, bruh.
It was like 540
closer
or
to
something.
600 than 500.
Yeah.
It was the most yards by a tandem in college football history. Not D1, not FBS, not any of that. History!
Yep.
Ever!
Yep.
And the funny thing is, the record they broke was set 2 weeks ago
Right.
by Buffalo.
Right.
Theirs was 400 and something yards out of one guy, and then one had 97.
Yep.
Woo. Carolina had 3 bills out of one and 2 and some change out of the other.
Mm-hmm.
That team is really good offensively. And here's the thing, they're real young. They're really, really young.
They're gonna be
I could see a ton of these guys coming back. Sam Howell has to come back.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, they have a top 10 recruiting class coming in this year.
Yep.
Their recruiting class this year is better than last year's.
They're going to be a really good
They are the second best team in the ACC, and it's not all that close to me. Notre Dame's not an ACC team. Just understand that.
Put out there.
All right.
I mean, they might be down the line. They're not right now.
Right.
They are for this one
You're
year.
saying
But I'm
for
talking in terms of the actual principal members of the
Oh, yeah,
ACC.
yeah.
North
Okay.
Carolina's the second best football program in this conference, and they're going to be for a long time.
Yeah.
And if there's a team that's going to knock Clemson off the pedestal, it's North Carolina. My question is, how long will Mac Brown stick around?
Right. I'm
And
hoping
that's
that.
always been my fear.
Yeah.
You think he's going for another job?
No.
Oh,
I
you
don't
think
think
he's
I don't
gonna
think he would
retire?
leave again. I mean, he's how old is Mac Brown?
Oh, gosh. 68?
I think he's older.
69.
69. Yeah, he's got
Got some
years
got some
back.
wear on those tires.
Yeah, but he's got some time left.
I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Five.
I hope he sticks around for like 5 more years.
5-7 years.
He is winning the recruiting battles in North Carolina in a way that nobody has ever done.
Absolutely.
He is stealing guys from Clemson. He is stealing guys from Florida State. He's stealing guys from Georgia. I mean, this is a team to be reckoned with. And I'm telling you right now, the number one thing I thought with Carolina going in there, Manny Diaz has the capability. I've watched him do it as a defensive coordinator to just get obliterated. Manny Diaz doesn't just get beat; he gets embarrassed. And that team looked like they quit. I mean, I made a joke on social media that just said it looks like Miami's defense had Carolina in the money line too. Their punter never stepped on the field. They played a 60-minute game against a top 10 team in the country, and their punter never saw the field. Every time they got the ball, they scored.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. And I think Miami needs to introspectively look at itself and go, whoa, what the hell was that? Because Derek King's the best player on the team. And he could come back next year, but he thinks he's an NFL quarterback, so I don't look for him to. I think he will actually go into the draft.
Whew, I don't know if that would be a good idea.
He thinks he's an NFL quarterback. If I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times.
It was
Right.
said a couple times.
Like Brian said, it was said on the broadcast 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Without him, I'm gonna level with you. Without Derek King, that game could have been 69 to nothing. I mean, if they could have beat them 77 to nothing, they would have scored as many times as they got the ball.
Right.
And Derek King's the only reason they put up any points. Him and Brevin Jordan. So,
Will that be enough to get Carolina into the Orange Bowl? though?
Yes.
That's what I want to know.
100%. There's nothing that can stop them from being in the Orange.
If Miami's still ready
Well,
to
Miami
go,
still
I'm
got the better record.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, they're not putting in a Miami team that got beat like that. That's just not.
I wouldn't think so.
It's
but
not happening.
we do have the consideration that they are the home team, and I wonder if that'll get them a little. A little
means
nod for the
nothing, but
Orange
it
Bowl.
Technically, it doesn't matter. If Carolina's higher ranked in the college football playoff poll, they have to take Carolina because they are beholden to the ACC. So they have to take the next team in the ACC. And I don't see any way Notre Dame and Clemson don't make the playoff. I mean, unless Clemson beats Notre Dame by 90. I mean, that might be enough, but I don't think.
Or
it
unless,
is.
yeah.
Or now if Notre Dame beats Clemson,
That's what I was gonna
of
say.
which I have not entertained that idea for
Yeah.
a tenth of a second since that game ended. So.
I haven't either. But it is.
But if it
is
does
happening.
happen, then now we have problems.
We got chaos.
Yeah, now we have pandalirium.
And Texas A&M.
It's raining sideways.
And Texas A&M's a big fan of it. because they're hoping that's everybody taking shots at Ohio State right now. By the way, this is my favorite thing in college football. Everyone and their brother is taking shots at Ohio State, and I love it. From Dan Mullen throwing out after the Florida loss, they were like, "How do you think this is going to affect your chances going into the playoff?" He's like, "Well, we should just play less games because apparently
It doesn't matter how many you
enough."
play.
Right.
Ohio State just plays 6 against nobodies and they get in.
Right. Oh, God. We'll talk about that coming up on the ESPN Asheville show this afternoon on the iHeartRadio app, the Sports Tank with Jeremy Green, every weekday afternoon at 3. We come at you. We'll talk about that as well as, we're going to have a name change in Major League Baseball. So much stuff to get into. We'll be looking, of course, for an update on Keontae Johnson, the Florida basketball player who collapsed during a game against Florida State over the weekend. Still no word on what has caused that, but he's still apparently listed in critical but stable condition at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital. So we'll look for updates on that throughout the day as well and get those to you this afternoon on ESPN Asheville. Follow it, like it, share it at the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Green.
Yeah.
Live for the Wicked Weed Studios, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. See you this afternoon.